Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys awesome interviews, and it is an honor and privilege to be talking to Mr. Wednesday 13 of the band Wednesday 13. They have a current album that's out right now called Monsters of the Universe, Come Out and Plague. They're on tour right now, but they are also working on a new album, so we're going to be talking to him about that today. So Wednesday, how's it going, man?
It's going great.
So what's impressed you the most about making the current album Monsters of the Universe, Come Out and Plague? What's impressed you the most? What's caught your eye about that album, dude?
Well, we started recording that in August 2014. We spent like a month in Texas in the summer heat, which wasn't fun. And that was a really cool record for us. It was definitely a step in a different direction compared to the other albums. And I just wanted to kind of showcase the different side of the band and kind of how we're evolving as a band. And so, yeah, that was a really important record because it set up, I think, the next step for what this new album that we're working on right now is going to be. So, yeah, every time you put a record out, you always hope your fans are going to dig it. But with that Monsters record, it was so different from the other ones. I didn't know how the fans are going to react to it. I knew I loved it. I just didn't know if they were going to love it as much. But I was totally wrong. And when it came out, I was like, "This is your best record since your first one." And so, yeah, it's been cool.
I've loved your stuff ever since the Murder Dolls, and then the acoustic album you guys did was just fucking insane, man. Just good stuff from you guys.
Thank you, man.
You produced this album. Did this give you guys more time to do what you wanted to with it, more time to record, just more freedom? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, mainly I've always produced my stuff, to be honest, just because I've never really had the money to hire a producer or anything.
Right.
When my first album, Transylvania, came out, I recorded that myself, and, I went to Roadrunner originally and said, "Hey, will you put this out?" And they said no. And then I got another record deal, and I came back to them. I was like, "All right, well, you have to sign me off your label then if you don't want me, because this other label wants to sign me." And they went, "Okay, well, now we want you." And so I already had the record done, and but we hired Colin Richardson, who's an awesome mixer, and he mixed the record, and I produced it. And then my second album, I produced it myself, but we had Bob Marlette mix the album, who's an amazing producer, did with Ozzy and Alice and whoever else. And so I've just never really had the producer thing, and then when we did the Murder Dolls, Women and Children last album, we worked with a producer, Zeus, and that's when I met him, and I was like, wow, this guy's awesome. He's got great ideas. And we just had the idea of just, getting a producer this time, because the Murder Dolls turned out so good that I wanted this new album we're working on right now to be as good, if not better, and I wanted to work with producers. So that's how we hired Zeus to do this new album.
Yeah, and Zeus has worked with Hatebreed. I mean, he's worked with a lot of great bands, including you guys. So, I mean, this has to be exciting for you to have him back on board with you guys.
Yeah, and we did the record in 2010, the Murder Dolls album, and we had kept in touch, and I was like, man, we got to do a record together. And I called him up a few months ago, and I said, dude, I want to do my new record. And, I want it to be awesome, and I want you to do it. And he said, well, let's do it. Let's finally do it. So we worked out the plan, and we did the drums in Oregon, and then we did the rest of the music in Massachusetts, and we spent the entire month of August recording it, and spent June and July writing it. So to me, this new album is the best thing I've ever done. It's the ultimate Wednesday 13 album, in my opinion.
Any songs off the album that stand out more to you on the Monsters of the Universe Come Out and Plague album? Any songs that catch your eye more than any?
Yes, there's several on that record. I mean, I'm really proud of that record, and I like every song on it, but there are definitely a couple on there that stand out. The track Serpent Society was definitely my favorite song off the record, and then we have Keep Watching the Skies, and, again, I started reading a bunch of conspiracy theory books and weird ancient alien stuff, and I wrote that whole record pretty much based on a bunch of weird stuff I had read, and kind of made up my own end of the earth kind of story, and that's kind of what Monsters of the Universe is. So the record's cool. It's a concept record. It's the first time I ever did like a concept thing instead of just writing about different things. But I'm really, really proud of that record. And it definitely set up the step for what we're doing on this new one.
I like conspiracy. I like the whole thing, especially like cryptozoology stuff like that. Man, that shit's really interesting.
Well, it's fascinating to me, and I didn't learn about that stuff in school, and I don't know why. So now I read about it, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy stuff, and this is scarier than most horror movies I ever tried to watch.
Yeah, and I did paranormal investigating for 6 years, so I got some crazy stuff.
Nice. Very cool.
You guys are getting ready. Well, you're on your last tour cycle for this current album, and you guys are going to take a break. Are you guys still going to get in the studio, or is this completed? How much is written on this already, Wednesday?
The new album's done. Like I said, we spent June and July writing the album, and then August 4th we started recording the album, and we finished September 1st, and we flew straight from the studio, straight to rehearsal, and we played our first show last night. So it's been busy, but the record is done, and I'm already starting to get mixes back right now. I got 5 mixes back yesterday. So this time next week, I'll have a finished record in my hand.
Do you know when this album may come out? Will it be this year possibly, or next year maybe, early?
It's not going to be this year, but it'll be early in the first part of next year. Originally I said April when it's going to be out, so I'm figuring March or April is when the release will come out. And I'm actually I'm not going to self-release this time. I'm actually going to release it through a label, so I'm kind of negotiating, working on that right now. So
okay. What do you hope the fans take away from any of these albums that you guys have out once they start to listen to them? What do you hope the fans get from you guys, man?
Well, I think most fans get, or what I hope they get, or I think they get, is the fact that, we're like I like to think that we're an oddity band. We mix so many different styles. It's everything from metal to punk to goth. It's just, we're a melting pot for a lot of different people's taste,
Mm-hmm.
And also there's a good fun sense of humor to it on the backside where it's not so serious. So I think that's the one thing a lot of people take away, is that this is a rock show, and I do this because I grew up idolizing Kiss and Alice Cooper and Twisted Sister and Wasp, and these bands put on these amazing shows, and I just want to follow in those footsteps. So that's why I go beyond and above every night with our show, and every tour I try to take it up a notch, and that's no exception with this tour. This tour that started last night is probably the most theatrical, crazy thing I've ever tried to pull off, and so far it's working.
What can fans expect at a show from you guys, man, when they come out to see you?
Just expect a really weird show. It's going to make you go, what? but not in a bad way. It's going to be like, I've definitely taken it up, and at the theatrical level, it's just, there's a lot of cool surprises on that. So I would say to expect the unexpected.
Do you prefer the digital era of recording the way it is now to get your albums out? I know money's a big factor, and I understand that, and plus record labels and things. But would you guys prefer to be in the studio to do this?
I've been recording so many years now. It's just like, I enjoy the studio, a lot, and I also hate it at the same time, because it just, it is like a lot of work, and but at the same time, it I enjoy putting all that work into it, because I know it pays off at the end.
What does Wednesday 13 bring to the table for music that's not out there right now, man, or maybe music is missing right now?
I really think the new album we just finished recording, and what I want to do with the band next year, where we are right now, it's like I said, I base what I do off what I grew up on and how I've seen rock shows, and I got it in my head how a rock show should be. So for me, I think Wednesday 13 keeps that spirit of that, but it's also got its own weird twist on it, man. That weird twist is my imagination.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said, that's what I want to do?
Alice Cooper.
Nice.
When I was 6 or 7 years old, I was playing in the floor with my G.I. Joes. My parents were watching People's Court and a commercial for Alice Cooper's 1984 I'm a Returns tour came on. It was like, Alice Cooper this week at the Charlotte Coliseum, The Nightmare Returns, and it shows his head getting chopped off. And I turn around and look at my mom, and I'm like, who is she? My mom goes, oh my God, he's a devil worshiper. He bites the heads off chickens and snakes. And I was like, what? And so I called up my buddy, and I'm like, you ever heard of this Alice Cooper? And he's like, yeah, my uncle has all his cassettes. I'm like, all right, this weekend you got to get them all and come over to the house. We're going to listen to them. So my parents went to bed, and me and my friend sat in the dark and listened to Alice Cooper, and it was like listening to a horror movie, because our parents were afraid of it. And I lived in the South, where everything was during that time when backwards masking and records in the mid-'80s. And so I was hooked on it at that point. I already liked horror movies. I was already a TV movie. And when I heard Alice Cooper and her music and said, wow, there could be a horror music band, I was like, yes. And then when I saw that, I was like, oh, Alice is cool, but Alice doesn't do horror all the time. I was like, I want to see a band that's horror 24/7. And that's when I became Wednesday 13 and started doing my thing.
So we're both big horror fans and things. So what's your favorite horror series out there? Is it, Friday 13th, Halloween? What's your take, man?
My favorite movies of all time is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and 2. Both of those movies, I don't know if I have a favorite one between the two because I like the characters so much. And that's just always my favorite movie. I mean, of course, I love Nightmare on Elm Street, the Friday the 13th, Halloween series. The first two were amazing. Yeah, I'm a fan of all that stuff, but if I had to pick one, the Chainsaw family is that's my favorite. And I've pretty much went around and I've met everyone from that movie before they've all passed away, except for the Jim Sideout cook. And I have autographs. I have a gigantic mural Chainsaw Massacre at my home, and it's just I have every autograph from every person personalized to me. And I've actually become friends with several of the actors. I was buddies with Gunnar Hansen, who just passed away a few months ago.
Yeah.
I became friends with Bill Moseley, Caroline Williams, and so it's pretty cool to grow up watching that movie, and now I go to the conventions and hang out with them.
I don't have anything autographed by Gunnar, but I do have a picture with him, and one of the most humblest people that you'll ever meet.
Greatest guy ever. I told him when I met him, I said, man, I used to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid. I said, now I just want to hug you because you're like a big teddy bear. So, Gunnar was really, really good. I met him through a friend of mine who was managing him at the time, and we did a bunch of horror conventions together last year, and I would sit beside him every day. He and I went to a bar, and he'd asked me if I drink scotch, and I said, no. He goes, I'm going to teach you how to drink scotch. So I sat down with Gunnar, and we drank scotch, and he told me about how he traveled the world looking for different scotches. And just a cool dude, man.
Yeah, just a down-to-earth guy. Didn't care what you look like, race, no matter who he talked to. Didn't care.
Yep.
What's it mean to you when you receive an email from a fan, or prior to the shows or after the shows, they'll come up to you and they'll say, hey, look, your music has pulled me through a bad experience or gave me inspiration to overcome obstacles, or it's just made me to relax, to escape everyday reality of what we go through. What's that mean to you, especially for your music, man, come from your fans like that?
I hear it every day, and it still blows me away every day. Like when I woke up today, I looked at my social media stuff, the band and stuff, and I have every day someone writing, I can't wait to see you in 2 weeks. You saved my life. Your music saved my life, and I hear that all the time. And at first, I used to kind of tackle about it. Oh, that's funny. Like all my songs are about killing people and horror movies and stuff, but it's just like movies for people. My music is an outlet for people, just like music for me, the other band, an outlet for me. When I want to get away from stuff, I want to put on a record by a band that I dig and listen to it. And there's bands the same way that I think have changed my life. And so to hear that, it's a really, really awesome thing to hear. And I've never ever just, I never take it for granted.
I just like to say, as a fan of your guys' music, thank you for what you guys are doing, living the horror stuff 24/7 through your music. Thank you guys so much, Wednesday.
Thank you, man.
Before I let you go, how can people stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, or come out and see you on this tour? Because I think you're going to be in my neck of the woods at Hooker Hollywood, I think, one close to West Virginia, maybe. I think Huntington, something like that soon.
Yeah, we're playing the D Club in Huntington, I know, and I don't know what date it is. I don't have my dates in front of me, but if you want to find out everything about us, go to officialwednesday13.com. That's all the tour dates, all the news, links, everything. We have 83 packages for all this. I bought a tattoo gun yesterday. I'm starting to tattoo people. It's getting crazy out here. So, I'm having fun. It's like tonight's our second show. We're in Seattle, and so if you come out to our show, we have so much merch for this tour. And then once this tour's over with, I put all this leftover stuff on our merch store, so you can find that off of our website and everything. So, and of course we got our Twitter and Facebook page, Official Wednesday 13 on Twitter and Facebook. So, write us on there, find the band guys on Twitter. We're all usually pretty bored on tour, so we can write people back and talk to them. And so it's pretty easy to find us.
Before I let you go, will you care to do a promo for the show?
Hey, everybody, this is Wednesday 13, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. Thanks, Wednesday.
Good, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.